Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and this is my firing line. This is the online show that's completely dedicated and completely driven by you, your questions, and your comments. Otherwise, I would be outside trying to figure out why my snow angels just never look right. You ever notice that back in school, the girls could always make perfect snow angels that looked actually like an angel? You could take a picture of the thing. Whenever I'd make a snow angel, it always looked like the outline of the creature from Alien. So I just never could get my snow angels quite right. By the way, I am back to using my regular computer camera this morning. I spent the last 20 minutes trying to figure out why my phone camera, that has a much better image when you're looking at it on your end than the one that's actually built into my computer, is not working. And I don't know what's going on. It will work in my other applications that require a camera, but for some reason, it's not working in this one that I use for my live stream. So anyway, that's the reason for the image not looking quite as good today as it has. Hopefully I can get that sorted out before my next show. Um, Also, for those of you who are tuning in expecting to see an actual Saturday morning video, I know I put something up on Wednesday saying, coming Saturday, and I put the thumbnail for the video. I decided to make a programming change, and I'm going to get into this as the show goes. But I'm going to be gone this coming week. I'm actually going to be at the SHOT Show. So this is my first time ever attending the SHOT Show. And there are going to be some videos released during the week in conjunction with the SHOT Show. And because of that, I didn't want to release a video today and then just a few days later start releasing videos from the SHOT Show and have everything competing with each other. So that's the reason you see me sitting here today and you're not seeing the normal Saturday morning video. By the way, I know I've got some folks that signed in here early. Katie Cowboy is here. Art Grote, Roy Kiefer, Craig Benz, Marv Turner, Terry Barnes, Ben Crane is here, and Nathan Huxtable just signed in. SDS Arms, thanks to all for joining. And let's see, the ticker shows we've got 18 people here. So if I didn't mention you or you didn't sign in already, be sure to say hi. So yes, I am going to be going to the SHOT Show. This is my first time ever attending this event. And I almost see this as kind of a rite of passage. It's like when you get to a certain point as a person who works with entities in the firearms industries, then you are able to actually attend the SHOT Show. So this is going to be my first time at the SHOT Show, first time in Vegas. I'd never have been there before either, so that's going to be a new experience as well. But I got to tell you, actually getting into the SHOT Show, being able to attend, was not an easy process. And this all starts out with I was invited there, and I can't go into this too much, but I was invited there by one of the companies that I work with. And normally if companies are going to have a display there, have a booth there or whatever, as I understand it, they have a certain number of attendee badges that they can hand out for people that are going to appear in their booth or be with them or whatever. For some reason, the company that invited me was not able to do that, and I don't know if they've already got so many of their own people going that they don't have enough badges to go around or what. But I had to register to attend as a media attendee. And the application process or the registration process for attendance at the SHOT Show is almost like applying for a home loan. There's all this information, page after page of stuff you got to fill out. And when it gets to the reason you can be there, or the reason that you believe you should be allowed into the show, for somebody in the media, there's this list of criteria, and it's really set up more for someone who is in like a TV news organization or print media or whatever, because they ask for credentials and one thing and another. And of course, I don't have any of that. So I ended up, I sent a copy of my business card, and I got one around here someplace. I'll grab it and show it to you. But I sent a copy of my business card, which has a QR code on it that takes people directly to my channel. And I filled out this thing. I said, Howard Funk, I am the sole content creator for the YouTube channel HR Funk. I've been producing videos for 12 years. I have nearly 1,100 videos. almost all of which are dedicated to firearms content. So and I put a link to my YouTube channel. So I was hoping that the folks on the other end at the SHOT Show would look at that, go to my YouTube channel, and all you have to do is any of the videos, virtually any of the videos that I've made, I don't know for how many years. Within the first 2 seconds, I say, "Hi, folks, HR Funk here." So I'm identified immediately in one of the videos, and I thought, okay, they can go there, they can see it's my channel, they can see it's me, and that should be hunky dory. Well, no, that wasn't sufficient. I ended up getting an email back, and it said that in the about section of my YouTube channel, there had to be something stating my role in the channel and whatever how I was affiliated with the YouTube channel. And I thought it seems like that would be apparent, but I had to actually go into my YouTube channel, into the about section, and I basically typed in there the exact same thing that I just told you. Only I started with "Hi, I'm Howard Funk, sole content creator, blah 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 blah." Everything I just told you. So then I had to send another email back saying, okay, here's a link to my YouTube channel. In the about section, I have added this information. And finally, I got just within the last few days a confirmation email back saying, yes, you've been approved for your attendance at the SHOT Show. So this whole process started back before Christmas. I think the first registration I completed on December 20th or something like that. And it's been going back and forth and back and forth. And of course, with the holidays and everything, and I was traveling and one thing and another, this has been quite a ordeal. But finally, it looks like they're actually going to let me in the door. And it's funny registering as someone in the media because I don't really think of myself as being anybody in the media. I'm a firearms guy who produces firearms related videos, but I guess as far as SHOT Show is concerned, I'm in the same category as whoever. Name the person in the media, and they've got me in with them. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. And as I said, because of the videos that I'm going to be releasing coming up, that's the reason that I'm not having a video this morning. And I know I've passed some of your comments here, so let me go back and see if anybody has directed anything at me. Good morning, SDS Arms. We do have to have a video together. If you shoot me, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, ED. If you shoot me an email, and let me put the email address up here, I can actually bring you on this morning. You can appear on a split screen. Let's see here. I should have put this on for everybody. For anyone that wants to appear as a guest, if you shoot me an email at hrfunksmail@gmail.com, I will send you a link to the show here, and you can appear as a guest. Let me get back over here to the comment section. And I want to do one thing here quick. I'm just going to open my email, so hopefully I will see if someone does send an email. All right. And moving on. Ken says, make sure you hit the Leatherneck Club while in Vegas. I'll have to look that up. Like I said, I've never been to Vegas before. Don't know what's there. I'm not familiar with the Leatherneck Club, although I like the sounds of the name. Steve Detweiler, enjoy the SHOT Show. My grandfather told me that even though I don't drink or gamble, that I still needed to go to Vegas. And that's kind of the way I am. I have no interest in gambling whatsoever. I always tell people I only gamble with my life, never with my money, which is a line that I shamelessly stole from the movie The Mummy. But not a gambler, not really looking to go out there and party or anything like that. I told somebody recently I'm kind of a boring date as far as that goes. I'm going out there just for the show and to be able to talk to some of the people that I already know, hopefully make some new contacts rather, see some of the new products and things like that. I am hoping that maybe I can do something similar to what I was doing when I attended the NRA show last year, which is take those little mini videos and post them as shorts on YouTube. But I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me how big this is and how much time you don't have while you're attending there. So I don't know. I want to try to maximize my time and be disciplined. And I'm actually trying to put together something of a plan so I know definite places where I want to visit and people that I want to talk to and things like that. So that's kind of where I am as I'm getting ready to go to the SHOT Show. The other thing I'm not certain about is the weather out there. I keep looking at the weather and trying to figure out what kind of clothes to take. So it'll probably be the usual experience where I'm either going to be dying of a heat stroke because everything I take is going to be too warm, or I'll be freezing to death because everything I take is not warm enough. We'll have to see what happens with that. SDS, if you ever need a badge, email me. I will do that. Thank you very much. And that's, like I said, it was quite an ordeal to get approved. So I appreciate that offer. Fernand Landry, good morning to you. Good morning, John G. As a veteran of many automotive trade shows, SDS is on the money. I saw that comment up there about the vitamin vitamins and fist bumps and handshakes and hand sanitizer and all that kind of thing. So I'll definitely keep that in mind. Paulo Ventosa, good morning to you. Thanks for joining. Disastrous effect, the best sites of the desert outside of Vegas. And I don't even know if I'll make it outside of town. From what I can tell by looking at the satellite photo, it looks like the Vegas airport is more or less in the middle of Vegas. So I'm expecting I'm going to walk off the airplane and get into an Uber or a taxi or whatever and go to my hotel. I'm staying at Circus, which I have no idea what to expect there. I hope that I'm actually able to sleep at night and it's not going to be, all night long going through my room or something like that. John G, those shorts were great to see new products, and yeah, I would like to do that again. I don't know how much time I'm going to have. If I can, I'm going to get some of those up too. We've already seen a few new things that have been released, uh, or at least I've received emails from companies who have released a few new things. So I'll be interested to see what all is out there. And I just lost my place over here. ED, Fremont Street is fun. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Mike, tell Smith and Wesson we need 2.0 metal carry comps and 45 from, and they just released the new metal. What was that thing? It's the Glock 19 size, which they're calling the M&P compact nowadays, which I think is weird because the original M&P compact was the 3.5-inch barrel version, and now it's the 4-inch version is the compact, and I'm not even sure what they call the 3.5-inch nowadays, but that one is still made, or at least it was the last I knew. Ben Crane, will you promise to do a review video of the SHOT Show crud? Everyone comes back sick. Yeah, I hope I don't come back sick. Katie Cowboy, do you invest in the stock market? That's kind of a gamble. Only in guaranteed return funds, which means I don't make much. Hand sanitizer won't save you. Roy Kiefer, here's a group question. Will national reciprocity be enacted? Everybody can chime in on that. I think it's an uphill battle. And the reason I say that is because there are so many states that are going to fight that tooth and nail, and they're going to come in probably with a 10th Amendment argument that may well be applicable, uh, where the federal government is trying to tell them that they have to allow people from other states to do something in their state that they don't want those people to do. I don't know. I would like to see it. It would simplify everyone's life, just like when you get a driver's license in one state, there's nationwide reciprocity and you can drive in any state with your out of state driver's license. But I don't know. I think that will be uh, a difficult measure to actually get through. Speaking of measures that are working their way through, we had that uh, uprising within the last week over the pistol brace rule again, and that was. Does anybody else think there was just something weird about that? I just I don't know. First off, there was this email from somebody who apparently was so oblivious to the current state of the pistol brace situation that they sent an email to the ATF of all places. And then somebody, whoever from the ATF, ostensibly sends back an email saying, we don't care what the courts say, this is still illegal, and blah, 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 blah. Now, this person who didn't have any idea what was going on with pistol braces or whatever is able to contact all kinds of people to make it known what the response was they got back from the ATF. And if they really didn't know any better, why would they not have just gotten that back from the ATF and thought, oh, okay, well, I guess this is just the way it is. And then a couple of days later, there's a retraction from ATF saying, oh, nope, sorry, that wasn't right. Yeah, we're going by the court rulings. And I don't know. I was a cop for a long time, and this is one of those things that just doesn't feel right to me, or at least doesn't feel on the up and up. Disastrous fact: I stayed at Circus Circus. Oops, where'd I go? Oh, I stayed at Circus Circus when the rooms were $20 and breakfast was 99 cents. I know I'm old. The rooms they were still were, I think, the cheapest room of all the ones that were affiliated with the Shot Show. I'm paying, I think, $80 a night or something like that, which, as hotel rooms go these days, that's pretty darn good. So I can't complain about the room price that I'm paying. Now, I don't know. It might be one of those places too where you get there and what they don't tell you is there's an additional $500 worth of fees and taxes and one thing or another that gets tacked on for every night. That seems to be a situation that I run into quite frequently with hotels these days. Steve Detweiler should be able to do small videos, demolition ranch crews, donut brand. Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of them that people do there. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time, and I really want to try to be disciplined and make sure that I'm getting to the places that I want to get to. So it's just going to all depend on how much time I have for stuff like that. I am going to take, obviously, my camera stuff. I'm going to take my microphone and things like that. So I'll be prepared, but we'll see. I'll have to see what happens. And I'm just zooming down the comments now. A lot of comments on Roy's question about the international reciprocity. Fernand Landry, I would like Canada to join the USA. Then we would be better with the U.S. Constitution, especially the Second Amendment. Who knows? It looks like we're going to be trying to get Greenland, so maybe we'll be bringing Canada on board too. And the more, the merrier. We would definitely welcome all of you, except maybe your former prime minister. He might need to find a different place to live. Battle rifles, Circus Circus actually is not bad. You won't have a problem. Good. That's nice to hear. Roy Kiefer, zealous federal bureaucrats, regulators have become the fourth government branch. Absolutely, with more power than probably we realize. Often they're zealots advocates and not balanced citizen assistants. I think you're right on the money, Roy. James Vatter, hope it's not one you rent by the hour. Yeah, me too. We'll have to wait and see. Steve Detweiler, just watch a video about how much the house. Yeah, and that's my understanding with the reason that hotel rates and people who have been to Vegas telling me that a lot of stuff is very inexpensive. Food's inexpensive and booze is inexpensive and one thing and another because yeah, everybody is trying to make money on gambling. That's the bread and butter out there. So they keep everything else low so people will spend their money gambling. The house always wins. ED could never find a place with clocks, had no idea of the time. I would imagine that's on purpose too. Just keep you in those casinos and at the tables and in front of the slot machines and everything else. Don't worry about the time. Interestingly, my flight back is on Thursday night. So my last day at the SHOT Show is going to be Thursday. And the flight doesn't go out until, hold on just a second. Let me look at something here. Okay. I was just making sure someone hadn't emailed me. Um, the flight doesn't go out until midnight Thursday night. So I'm going to have to check out of my hotel room at whatever time, probably before I leave for the SHOT Show that morning. So I don't know, 8 o'clock, something like that. I'll check out of the hotel room. Have to take everything with me. I'm going to be traveling as light as I can. I'm planning on taking just a backpack. Go spend the day at the SHOT Show. That's probably going to wrap up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Then I got to find something to do with myself from that time until midnight when the flight leaves. When the flight takes off, it's a 4 hour or 4.5 hour trip, something like that, from Vegas back to Cleveland. But I'm flying through time zones. So I actually am landing in Cleveland at 7 something in the morning, right around 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's one of those things that where I think probably the idea is to allow people to gamble as long as they can possibly gamble up to the last second and then catch a flight, sleep for 4 hours on the airplane coming back, get up and then go to work on Friday or whatever. That's the only reason I can imagine that there's a flight that leaves at midnight to come back into Cleveland at 7 in the morning. Chris 1911 is here with his customary greeting. Katie Cowboy, wonder how much market share the online gambling websites have taken away from the brick and mortar casinos. I have no idea. Not a clue. And I did just get an email from John G. Let me take a look at this. Make sure he's not trying to get onto the show. Nope, he just sent me a link to something else we were talking about. ED likes blackjack. Ben Crane says the dentist who owns the shop where he works said he spent a ton on meals, but he was there with his kids. So, yeah, that might account for it. And I've also heard the prices have gone up in recent years. So apparently it's not quite as inexpensive as it once was. John G, there's slot machines in the airport. Yeah, I will be making my way past them quickly. Battle rifles, if you need a hub of operations, just ask to sit and take a break, etc. from directions, or ask for directions to other booths. You can use my booth, DS Arm. Thank you very much. Okay, now I didn't realize who you were based on your YouTube name. Now I know who you are. I appreciate that. I do have the app on my phone where I've got all the exhibitors, and I can put that into a list of places where I want to make sure that I go to, and then it will draw me a map to get there and all those kind of things. So that should be helpful as well. But I appreciate the offer. Uh, Chris, it says you're at a gun shot right now. I assume you either mean a gun show or a gun shop. I'm not sure which one. Roy Kiefer, the era of really good deals is long over. I suppose that's true, and probably not only in Vegas as far as that goes. Justin Smith, can you cover the Kel-Tec stripper clip pistol that they are releasing? I know they get a bad rap, but it's interesting. I would like to hear about it. I think Kel-Tec is one of the places I have on my list, so I'll be stopping by there. Hopefully, I'll be able to take a look at that, and if I can get some information back to you, I will. Good morning, JC. Glad you made it. And wow, I'm caught up with the comments, which is one of that. Spoke too soon. Yeah, KD, I don't have any idea about the brick and mortars as compared to the online. Not a clue. So, whatever information you have is going to be better than what I don't know. Steve Detweiler, Kel-Tec put out something for the show in a Brandon H video. Brandon H video pistol. Okay, I know I saw something. Seems to me they have some kind of a new pistol that I saw something on, but I don't remember what it was and don't know anything about it yet. Fernand Landry, why throw money at a casino when you can use it for new guns and ammo? See, that's my feeling exactly. All right. And I do have somebody that's going to take me up on joining the show. So give me just a second here. This is going to be Jared from SDS. So this will be cool. And I am just going to do this a little differently than I usually do. So I'll just bear with me for a moment. This will be worth the wait, I'm sure. All right. I've got that email to Jared. Hopefully, we'll be hearing from him soon. Jared, when you get the link, just click on it. It'll walk you through the process. Keep in mind that if you join with your camera, everybody's going to be able to see you. So I always like to warn people. I always have this fear that I'm going to send somebody a link and they'll be sitting there in their underwear or something like that. And they'll be, oh, yeah, this will be fun. And all of a sudden they won't realize the camera's going to be on. So I try to help anybody avoid any kind of a embarrassing situation like that. Polar vortex coming. Good time to go to Nevada. And again, I have no idea what to expect with the weather there. Tony York, my son-in-law just called last night about that new Kel-Tec. So I suppose I should look into the thing. Yeah, the nice thing about Kel-Tec, or the interesting thing about Kel-Tec, is they really come up with some innovative products. Sometimes, and for a long time, for years, I didn't want anything to do with Kel-Tec firearms because I didn't trust them. It wasn't until I got maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my first sub 2000, that I really started to change my opinion on them. And I think at least some of the products they're making these days are pretty darn good, and again, very innovative. Ben Crane bought a Daewoo pistol for the oddity fact. You know what? I wish I had one of those things. I remember somebody, oh man, years ago, that I met at a training event who had one of the Daewoos with the hammer that you could push forward. It was kind of like the safe action that you see on high powers and 1911s these days. And it was kind of neat. It was kind of different, built in Korea. Kind of wish I had one, but I don't. Justin Smith, we've been buying old Smiths just because of the locks. They should have dropped the locks decades ago. This thing with dropping the locks on 3 models of their revolvers really surprises me. I never, ever, ever thought they would drop a, safety feature from one of their revolvers because I think it creates a, potential liability concern if there would be an issue with that firearm. And Jared is joining us. Let me bring him on. Everyone, this is Jared from SDS Imports that's joining us. How you doing, Jared?
It is Saturday morning at 8:30, and I am sick, so I'm going to SHOT Show sick.
So you're going to be the carrier.
I'm going to give you the firmest handshake you've ever gotten in your life.
So are you all packed up and ready to go then?
Not one bit. All of my stuff is still scattered out. I've been podcasting and doing these live interviews, so none of my camera gear is packed. I am waiting till the last possible minute. I don't fly out until tomorrow morning, so got a little bit of time today to kind of get some things done and caught up on.
Well, I am really glad you joined us. This is tremendous. Everyone, as I said, this is Jared from SDS Imports. If you have any questions you want to throw about TZOSH, Military Armament Corporation, Inglis, Tokarev, who am I forgetting, Jared?
Spandau,
Spandau.
We've got a bunch of brands. We do a little bit of everything. If you guys haven't checked us out, SDS Arms on Instagram and all the other socials. But yeah, I'm excited. So Howard, I'll tell you this about SHOT Show.
Okay.
Hydrate. That's going to be the biggest one. And I love SHOT Show because they never measure it in anything sensible. They're not like, you have 200 acres of guns. It's always like, we have enough space to fit 200 F-16s in of guns. So you're like, what? Is that a number? So you can walk for days. So comfortable shoes, hydrate often, and have fun. I mean, it's an amazing thing. I've been going for 15 years almost now. So it's super cool. If you ever get a chance to go, folks out there, go one time. You may not want to go every year like me, a glutton for punishment, but it's truly an amazing time.
Well, and thanks for the advice too. Like I said, I'm going out there kind of blind. My frame of reference is the NRA annual meeting, which I've attended many times, and I'm expecting that basically on steroids is my mental image of the SHOT Show.
It's pretty similar. It is really similar. I think SHOT Show is bigger because you just have, it's not just a consumer show, it's an industry show. So you'll see, things, there would be like more manufacturing people there. So, who, companies that we would go shop for like barrel steel or, grit materials, tritium for your night sights. There's those types of people there as well. And it's more global, I think. We utilize a lot of our manufacturing partners are in Turkey. So you'll see a lot of those gun makers over there who aren't necessarily trying to sell a product to the consumer, but they're trying to sell products to a company like ours that specializes in bringing those products in from overseas for the U.S. consumer. All
right. Is there anything you want to give everyone a heads up on that's going to be unveiled from SDS coming up here next week?
We've done live streams all week long, but so TSOS and SDS and Spandau and Max. So I'll give you one product from kind of everyone real quick, not to plug my company too much because there's a lot of other things I want to talk about too about SHOT Show because it's a great place. But TSOS, the double stack 1911s get updated for 2025 and the prices will be lower. So a lot of new features are going into those guns and we're going to save you a little bit of money. With Mac, chassis style bolt guns will be available and a blowback PCC, which no one has seen yet. We haven't given anyone a heads up about that. So Howard, you're the first kind of independent news source on the web to know that we're out with a very short, very small, compact PCC direct blowback that uses MP5 Max. That will be unveiled at SHOT Show. If I have an airport drink, I may spill the beans in the airport tomorrow, but I think I'm gonna keep this one close to the chest. Spandau, our shotgun line, is expanding more into hunting. So the S2, which is our inertia-based shotgun, is hitting the market finally. We've got 4 great camo patterns to make a debut into the hunting market. What else is new? I mean, I feel like I'm forgetting something. talked about all this stuff so much this week that I kind of forget. We don't have anything as exciting as a pistol that loads with stripper clips or, things like that. But I think we got a well-rounded product line. We'll be in the Caesars Forum this year, so SHOT Show expanded to 2 places. That's how big it's gotten. There's two places. So we'll be in the Caesars Forum this year, hanging out and doing some giveaways in the booth. And you see me at shows, Howard. My eyes light up just hanging out and talking with all of the people out there. I very rarely throughout the year get to hang out with everyone, face to face. You guys are always yelling at me through email and the computer screen. So, when I get to the shows, I genuinely have a great time talking shop and, shaking hands with all those people.
And that's one of the things that I really love about the NRA show. Is just getting a chance to actually meet people and talk face to face and, make new contacts. And for me, it's always strange because I have more and more people all the time coming up to me. It's weird too, because I'll have this thing where people are kind of looking at me out of the corner of their eye and the wheels are turning, and then they'll come up and say, "Are you HR Funk?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then it's almost like they're meeting a movie star or something. "Oh man, I watch your videos. Can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Sure."
And I don't get that as much being behind the camera, being behind the website.
Hmm.
This year, I think one time we were at a hotel and I had a TSOS, shirt on, and some guy walked up and he was like, "Oh man, I love your pistols." Had no idea who I was, but he's like, "I've never seen anyone in a TSOS, kind of polo professional shirt." And, we're like, "Yeah, I work for the company." So not as famous as I think that you are. And I will say, story,
You don't have to go too far to get more famous than me.
it's I don't know if I want that, but hearing your story about getting into SHOT Show, it is, I think, still kind of crazy that content creators like YouTubers go through what they go through to get into it, because that's how the market is shifted. Print publications are still a very viable thing, but it's amazing how many content creators that have massive followings carry no weight with some organizations. It's like, I look at you and be like, "Yeah, he should be in this show." And they're like, some office intern at the NSSF, pulls up your YouTube and they're like, "Oh, here's some old guy that talks about guns. Should we let him in?"
Now, I will say I talked to a couple of their customer service representatives. I actually called there trying to get this all straightened out, and they were very courteous, very helpful. So I cannot say anything negative about the people I actually spoke to with the NSSF.
I think it's a double-edged sword because, it's an event and there's only so many people that can get in there. And, even for me, I just launched my own podcast last night. And so now I could go to SHOT Show and be like, "I'm in the media." And, does a new podcaster deserve, as much of an entry as some guy who's put in, the years that you have? So there is that kind of vetting process that everyone has to go through. Since I deal with influencers on the regularly, I will tell you guys, having a good signature line in the emails that you send to companies goes far and wide. I can't tell you how many influencers or content creators reach out to me and they're like, "Jared, I love your guns. Can I get a free one for T&E?" And the signature line is "sent from my Samsung Galaxy." And I'm like, "I don't know who you are. How do I, there's no links to their socials. So set up a good signature line, put a good action photo of you, on the range." And I think that'll make you seem a little bit more legitimate in some cases.
Yeah, I started using my business card, and I threatened to show this a while ago. Let me grab one of these things quick. And I just paste this thing, and now when I want one, I can't find them. I just paste one of these things on the bottom of my emails, and it seems to work pretty well, I think. There we go. So that's the one that shows up. That's the QR code.
There you go.
That's the closest thing I have to any kind of formal credentials. And I know something I was going to tell you. Last week's video, I had the review of the Inglis L9A1. The video is done tremendously well, and I was very impressed by that pistol. So I appreciate having the opportunity to review that. I was hard time talking this morning.
There's some really cool things about the whole Inglis lineup that came about. Those aren't manufactured by TSOS for us. We found another manufacturing partner to build those guns for us. And they went from a prototype to our production guns in almost 90 days. So, they turn out really good. We're still trying to find our feet on marketing those guns and getting them out to people. But we appreciate guys like you and a few other guys we sent guns out to that have done reviews on them. And hopefully this year we launch some new stuff. I think around NRA we'll have some more English stuff coming out. But it's a cool gun. They're super cool.
Yeah, for high power fans, I think they're extremely cool. And I'm curious about something. I'm just wondering how SDS was able to get the rights to the English name. Do you have any idea how that came about? Was that just floating around out there for anyone to get, or how that happened?
I almost hate to do this, but yeah, sometimes there's companies that have trademarks or brand assets, and they just abandon them. So a lot of times you can find assets that have sat around unused for quite some time now, probably ruining this for everyone because everyone's going to go out and start snipering up these assets. But it's not much different than like what companies like Springfield Armory did back in the day. A lot of
Mhm.
people identify Springfield Armory, and that's not at all related to the original
Right.
government personal. So Springfield, after the government kind of set it aside, they did it. I think it's MKS or High Point. They've done it with Inland. Carr has done
Mhm.
it with Auto Ordnance. So sometimes it's cool to see these companies resurrect these iconic names, and I hope that we're doing our part to kind of pay homage to these companies and continue on some of their legacy. We haven't, a lot of people with Mac, are you going to release the Mac 10? And we're like, maybe. So sometimes the products, logistically are impossible, but, with a company like Inglis, we thought what better, place to put a high power on it. So I think it's just, sometimes you're able to, weasel it out. There were some conversations with, the trademark owners to try and get some of the assets to go along with it. But yeah, more often than not, yeah, we're negotiating, use of that name or buying the rights to that name to hopefully continue on and make some really cool things.
That is extremely cool, and one of the things that I love that you guys are doing is bringing back some of these historic firearms and brand names, and things that a lot of us years ago when we were younger and poorer and everything uh, really wanted but couldn't get. And I'm thinking specifically about uh, the Raider pistol, basically similar to the M45A1, the L9 A1 Inglis, the uh, Mac 5, all of those really cool firearms that we saw back in the day, and like I said, we lusted for, and just for one reason or another couldn't have. But you guys are bringing them back around now, and offering them at a such an affordable price for everyone. I just think that's tremendous.
It's we're gun nerds like everyone else. Thankfully I'm not as old as you. I wasn't around fighting the British like yourself, but I'm old enough that I remember going to gun shows, and I bought Turkish Mausers for less than $100. I bought some guns that even old Yugo Mausers were less than $200 at one point in my gun buying career. If I had a time machine, I would go back to when I turned 21 and buy every surplus 1911 I could find, because now they're almost unobtainable for
Mhm.
the common shooter. So having a gun like the TSOS 1911 ASF, it gives me an opportunity to have a gun that looks and feels the part. There's great companies doing stuff with like the M1 carbine, even the CMP with their expert line of Garands now with new barrels and new stocks. They're a little bit more affordable, and you don't feel bad shooting them. You can run out and set up some paper targets and act like you're storming the beaches at Normandy, and not worry about beating up those collector guns. So
Mhm.
I hope more companies do it. I'm a big M1 carbine guy, so I like seeing that there are still modern copies of these guns that are available for newer shooters, because the chances of us going into that gun shop like we may have done 10 or 15 years ago and finding a Remington Ram for $1,000 are gone.
Well, you're right, and it's funny you mentioned the M1 carbine because I distinctly remember this was somewhere circa 1983, 84, something like that. A sporting goods store in my area got in just a ton of M1 carbines. I don't know where they got the things from, but I remember just a big rack of them across the wall in the back of this store, and they were selling them for next to nothing. And at the time, I'm thinking, M1 carbine, who wants one of those? Now, I'm like, I wish I could go back and buy every one of those just because I know a little more now than I did back then.
Oh yeah, I would literally go to May 1985, and everyone's like, oh, I'd go back and buy Bitcoin, or and there's probably some things like that I would do, but no, I would, pre 1986, I would go to the Fleming warehouse and buy every auto sear that I could get my hands on. So I think that's kind of neat, thinking about that. But with TSOS and doing guns like that, it's cool. There's other companies that are making great ones. I will say, like you said, talking about my company is cool and all, but Smith and Wesson with the no lock models, a guy of your taste, of your particular taste, how excited are you for those?
I was just mentioning that you were probably working on signing into the show here, but I'm really surprised they came out with those. I never thought I'd see it because I thought that by deleting a safety feature that kind of creates an instant liability if there would be a problem with those firearms.
It,
But they've done it now, and they've got those three models. They've got the Model 36, which is a throwback to the original Chief Special
yeah.
that I think is very cool with the half moon sight and all that, and the tapered barrel. They've got the Model 19. Now, the thing I noticed about the Model 19 is it still has the two-piece barrel. So they've deleted the lock, but it's still got the more modern barrel on it, which from a design and manufacturer standpoint is probably a better design than they had before. I'm curious if it has the ball lockup or if it's got the more traditional lockup that we had in the older Smith and Wesson revolvers.
Yeah, there's not enough pictures, I think, to really dissect them, except from the overall side of it. The
Mhm.
Model 10 is very, very classic as well. So I'm stoked to see stuff like that. I've made the joke that I think the gun industry is circling back to the mid 2000s right now, where we're all polymer guns are still great. They work, they're reliable, they're affordable. But now people are starting to like, man, I want some cool metal guns. Something that's a little more classy. Guys are wearing vests and nicer watches, and so seeing some of these cool guns like that come back out, I'm pretty excited about.
I am too. And that Model 10, the thing that I think is really cool about that is they went back to the old style ejector rod that's got the larger uh, front end, for lack of a better description. But I think that's cool. And the tapered barrel on that, I like that a lot.
I just picked up a Colt 1917 because I couldn't find a Smith and Wesson, and it's up on my shelf right now. And then I buy that, and I'm like, man, I really want to get a Smith and Wesson. And then I see the new Model 10s come out, and I'm like, well, this is by when it rains, it pours.
Now, I have not yet seen what they're going to offer those things for, so I don't have any idea what the price is going to be.
I think the MSRPs were right at about $1,000.
Is that right?
Yeah, kind of in those $900 areas. Like I said, I'm excited for SHOT Show just like everyone else. People are like, you work for one company, you must talk bad on every other company. And no, I still run around like an 18-year-old at his first gun show, looking at everything out there because it's super cool. And there's a lot of companies that do cool stuff. So we'll see what the week holds for us.
Yeah. Uh, and any other words of wisdom for the SHOT Show?
Um, man, it's always it's a mess. I'll say that it's really hard to get around. I would, if you can get there early day one, you got to find your way to the casino or into, the Venetian. So for me, I stay at the Link, which is a few buildings over. On paper, it's only about 800 yards, when you really map it in a straight line. But once you zigzag through all of the escalators and, changing levels, it takes a while. But get your route planned. For you as a content creator, make a plan, get your booth layout, kind of look for the people that you want. Using the app is phenomenal, and then kind of stick to that. But you walking around, you're going to get sidetracked. You're going to get, walking and not, see something that you didn't think you'd want to stop at. So, we set our meeting schedules up pretty well, but it goes out the window. As soon as you get there, you'll walk up to my booth and be like, Jared, I'm sorry. I said I'd be here at 11. It's 2:15. But then you'll be like, but man, have you been down here and seen how cool this new gadget is? And I'm like, no, man, I've been in the booth all day. So make a plan. Um, if you're going, Howard, bring an extra shipping label or two. If you can self print out a shipping label, because you're going to come home with more stuff than you think you will.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm worried about. I don't know if you heard me talking about my situation with the flight, and I'm going to have to check out of the hotel and then have all my stuff with me at the show. So I'm going to be traveling very late, and I'm worried about various things that I might pick up and need to bring home. So yeah, shipping it would make a lot of sense.
Check your hotel. Like if you're checking out, they usually have like a bag holding corral. So, you kind of like drop your bag off at the front desk. They tag them and like, wheel. So you don't have to carry around like, your carry on or your luggage. So most hotels will have that, even though you're checking out, like that day, you may have like a spare couple hours. So check the front desk. If they have a bag check, and they'll give you a tag. It's like $5 or $10. And then whenever you're actually ready to leave, go back and then they'll pull your bags out of this little kind of room.
I wondered about that. That was something I was going to check on when I got out there. So hopefully Circus will have something like that.
Yeah, kind of like a coat check,
Mhm.
something like that. But yeah, if you can print a UPS flat rate label for yourself using print and ship. There are FedEx places inside some of the casinos, so most guys go there. We pack everything we can in whatever suitcases, but then after you get 18 pounds of stickers and 3 pounds of patches, you're back in your hotel room the night before. Like, what do I do with all this stuff? So, seasoned veterans, I tell them either hit up FedEx every day to ship some of your stuff home, or every couple days, or bring a label and then find a cardboard box, slap a label on it, and drop it off on your way out of the airport.
Okay. Well, good to know and good information. I appreciate it.
I do what I can to help people out, but my biggest thing is, just get on some extra vitamins. It's going to be a taxing week. I think you'll probably walk easily 10 to 15 miles a day.
All right. Well, I am looking forward to it. So I will be there Tuesday. I don't know if I'll make it to SDS on Tuesday or not. We'll have to see what happens. I've got something going first thing in the morning with the one company that invited me out. And then after that, I'm pretty much free to roam on my own. So sometime during the week, I'm definitely sure that I'll hook up with you out there.
Yep. We will be there. Caesars Forum, 72246. And for anyone else out there going, travel safe. And we hope we see you out there at the show.
Well, hey, thanks a lot, Jared. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Take care. And that was Jared from SDS Imports. And I was trying to watch over here as Jared was talking to see if there were any questions, and I didn't see any as he was here. So I didn't see anything that I could pass on. I did see a couple of comments about SDS products, but not any questions. So hopefully I didn't miss any. And looks like I know several people had to leave. Steve Detweiler left. Looks like Roy Kiefer is checking out. And just zooming down through here. Got some gambling advice. Uh-oh, Corey Carlson's getting ready to unsub from all the channels that clog up the feed, presumably with SHOT Show things. Now, I will try not to clog things up too much, Corey. ED, the last time I was in Vegas, the airport was out of town. When I said that it looks like it's in the middle of Vegas, I'm going from a satellite view, but it looks like looking down at it, and particularly looking at the airport in relationship to the Strip, it's not that far away, and it appears that Vegas has more or less surrounded the airport over the years. And let's see, we're at 54 minutes here, so I'm going to keep things going for about another 5 minutes. We'll make it an even hour. We got 35 still here. So if you got any last minute questions, concerns, or anything you want to throw out for the good order of everyone, by all means do so. Seems like there was something else I was going to tell you all about today, and I can't now think what it was. But again, once I get past the midpoint of the week, the video production schedule should pretty much go back to normal. There will be a Wednesday video that's probably going to be a short video. Then there will be the Saturday video, which was the one that you were going to see today, but it's going to be next Saturday instead. So things will get back more or less on schedule around here, but it's a little up in the air right now. And because of the process to work through to be able to be registered and be able to attend the SHOT Show, and the length of time that it took to accomplish all that, I wasn't really able to announce it. Oh, I know the other thing I was going to tell you about. I wasn't able to announce that up until today because I just now found out that I'm going to be able to go. The other thing I was going to tell you about was the Gundy Award. Some of you know that I was nominated for a Gundy Award this year. I was in the category of people most likely to survive the apocalypse, which is pretty funny. And there was a big group of people in there, and it was a pretty impressive group. Such was in there. Carl from I can't think what it's called, something Rifleman. Anyway, a lot of great content creators in there, really accomplished people, and then me. So I probably brought down the temperature of the room a little bit. But no, it was great to be nominated. I didn't win. I got something a week or so ago from the Gundys saying that they had picked the top 6 people, I think, in that category, and I wasn't one of them. So that eliminated me from the competition. But still, it was an honor to be nominated. Thanks to any of you who voted for me. Definitely thanks to the folks that nominated me. I appreciate that tremendously, and who knows? We'll see what happens next year. But that all came as a surprise, and I just wanted to make sure because I'd put something up on the website about it, and I mentioned it on a previous show, so I wanted to make sure that I followed up on that today. I knew there was something else I wanted to tell you about. Craig Benz, try to give us a sense of the scale of the show. I'll do that, and maybe I can get some sort of a big video shot, maybe from an upstairs if there's a balcony or something like that I can try to give you an idea of the scale or the scope of this thing. But I'll try to do that. Steve B, haven't been to Vegas since 1981. I see no reason to go back. Tactical Rifleman. I could not think of, all I could think of was Carl and Rifleman, but I couldn't think of Tactical. That's his name. Former Special Forces soldier. Nice guy. I met him a while back down in Nashville. Nate Huxtable, thank you. John G, my pleasure, and thank you for the well wishes on the trip. Master Sergeant Carl Erickson, yep. Or Sergeant Major. Yeah, I thought he was Sergeant Major, now that you mention that. And it looks like we are out of comments, and I'm going to start to wrap things up. It's a little early, about 58 minutes here, but that's a pretty good time to start to wrap things up. So once again, I'm headed out to the SHOT Show in just a couple of days. I'll get back as much information to all of you as I can. Thank you all for participating in the show today. Special thanks to Jared from SDS for coming on as a guest. I've been wanting to get him on forever, and I'm glad that we finally got him on for a little bit before the show so he could try to get some information out to all of you and give me some advice. So I appreciate that. Thanks to all of my viewers. I tell people all the time that I have the greatest viewers on the internet. All of you just continue to impress me time and time and time again. And I mean that. I tell people, and not just online, but I tell people when I'm talking about my YouTube channel that I have the best viewers on the internet. Thank you all for 12 years of support. Thank you for all the comments in the videos. Thank you for all the various donations of ammunition and gear, and to my channel members, a special thank you for the monthly contribution that they make to the channel. I appreciate it, especially during those times when YouTube starts to demonetize everything. Now, oddly, I'll throw this out right here at the end of the video. I've been doing pretty well with my recent uploads and getting them monetized. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if this is the Trump effect that's trickling down to YouTube or what, but I have had better luck here recently in getting my videos monetized. And just a month or so ago, back in November, almost all my videos were demonetized. So I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed. Looking forward to the inauguration on Monday. All of you have a great, great weekend. I will be talking to you during the course of next week. And until next time, everyone, good shooting and bye-bye for now.